show like no other? This is Radical Radio, a show where we're making you survive it just right. If you can think it, and you can say it, and you can see it. Join us every
Hi, guys. If you all want to talk about something particularly, I'm all messed up. Please put it in the chat. We need something to talk about this morning. Hey, what up?
What up, Baltimore?
What up, Baltimore?
How y'all doing? It must be Saturday. It must be 12:30 because it's time for Radical Radio. I am Pastor B and this is PK.
It's PK.
I'm the ball and she's the chain.
Whichever
Or
way
she's
you
the
wanna
ball
say
and
it.
I'm the chain.
Yes.
No matter how you put it, we
We're
ain't
not
going
going
nowhere.
anywhere.
We're back in the building today.
Yep,
Good
yep,
to
yep.
see you. Good to hear
It's
from
cold.
you. Are y'all mad at us?
Why they
I want. Are they mad at us? Have they gotten upset with the radical pastors? Yeah, I mean, you know, people don't. They sometimes they don't like to hear certain things. You know what I mean?
Understand.
So I was just checking to see if Baltimore was mad
I
with
don't
us.
think they're mad. I think they love Pastor B and PK.
I think they do too.
They just can't tell anybody.
Shh, it's a
They
secret.
love us on the low.
It's a secret.
They love us on the
Secret
low.
lovers.
What's up, Baltimore?
Hey, look, PK. Before we even get started, right? Look. I gotta tell you, I've been feeling something deep in my shanana.
When it's in your shanana.
You know it.
Okay, lay it on me.
I've been feeling
like
there are some people that have been listening to us, and have been saying, you know what? I would really, really love to go visit their church.
Okay,
but I don't want to go all the way out there to Glen Burnie.
But it's not far.
It's not. But
really
you've got to understand the culture of Baltimoreans.
Yeah, we gotta. But that was the old culture.
But I'm just telling you, this is what I've been feeling. I've been feeling it in my shanana. That some people have been like, you know what? I would actually go and visit their church
if they were 10 minutes, 15 minutes closer.
If it wasn't all the way out there in Glen Burnie.
Okay. Go ahead.
And so because of that, I am excited and so very happy to announce that now we will be right off of Security Boulevard for you to come and visit our church.
Like 2 minutes from the radio station.
If you know where the radio station is, we are rock tossed away.
Get it out. That's how close we are.
Close we are.
You just tongue-tied.
6666.
6666.
Security Boulevard.
Yeah.
4 6s.
4 6.
6666 Security Boulevard. Our opening weekend is Easter weekend, ladies and gentlemen. And I want each and every person out there that's, you know, like, yeah, I would go to church, but I don't even really like my church like that. Or I don't really have a church that I go to no more. And so I ain't had nowhere where I was going to go. Or what? Saturday Night Live.
Yes, that's what I was about to say. Because there's some people that want to visit.
Okay.
But they'd rather be in their own church for Easter Sunday.
Okay, because I ain't trying to steal nobody. No, please, I want to make it plain.
Please,
I'm not trying to. I'm talking about people who are ready for something different, ready for radical. A change, right? Yes, those are the people that I'm talking to. 6666 Security Boulevard. So tell them about the weekend. What we doing Easter weekend?
My goodness. So Easter weekend, Saturday Night Live, we are going to have none other than, they may not know who she is.
Okay. Okay.
But Trina Harvey will be our opening psalmist. She'll be there for the weekend. Now we have our own. They're just amazing, fantastic praise team, but she will be leading them the entire weekend.
Our special guest.
So she is our special guest, and she will be there Saturday night and Sunday morning.
Yes.
So we'll have from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. We'll have an open house.
Happy hour. Oh, yeah.
So you can come and you can get non-alcoholic drinks.
Right, because we can't get you drunk at the church.
Yeah. It's that exciting.
Drunk off Jesus, not off the alcohol.
So we'll have that. And that's from 5 to 6:30. And you can come in and you can take a tour of the facility and you can just buy something out of our cafe or our bookstore. And so we'll do that from 5 to 6:30. And then Saturday Night Live, it starts at 7. And then we'll have Trina Harvey hit the altar and just do a dynamic worship session.
Yes.
And then we'll have some word. We're excited about the word. We're going to keep that a secret for now. And then we will just get to it. And then we'll be there until the Lord tells us to shut it down, because guess what? We got the keys.
We got the keys.
We don't have to be out by a certain time.
That's right.
We don't have to adhere to nobody else's agenda.
Yes.
We just can do what we want
Yes.
to do.
Yes, 66.
You give them the address.
Security Boulevard.
Keep giving them the address.
Yeah, because they need to know. Somebody caught catching us late. They need to know where to find us. That's right. And then what's happening Sunday morning?
Sunday morning.
Oh, early Sunday morning. That's how they used to preach back in the day.
You better be
early Sunday morning.
The citizens out, because Easter Sunday, when I was growing up, we had sunrise service.
Yes, they ain't ready for sunrise.
They're not ready. We had sunrise service, and that service started at 6 o'clock.
Whoa!
I think it was.
When the sun was about to
yes,
rise.
It was sunrise service. Sunrise service, and then we fed them for breakfast, and then right after we had the regular morning worship service. So this year I'm not doing that.
Okay.
Because I know we're going to be exhausted.
That's right.
But I don't know what I might do next year.
All right.
But anyway, we'll have Sunday morning worship.
And what
service.
we wearing?
All white.
All white.
All white.
White. Not cream white.
Not a crew.
Not off white.
Not off white.
Not dusty white.
Winter white.
White. There you go.
Now listen, if you don't have white, do not
stay home. That's right. We still want you. Even if you don't got all white, we still want you.
We might have some white Radical City t-shirts in the back for you.
Okay.
If you want to throw them on.
Yeah.
You might not see Radical City on it because it's going to be white.
Okay.
You get it?
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
You get it? Okay.
No.
Anyway.
Strange. She's a weirdo. Don't y'all worry about her. It's
and then we have a surprise for our citizens after Easter service, right?
Yes.
Directly after Easter service.
Yeah, so one last time. 66 Security Boulevard is our new location. We can't wait for you to join us Easter weekend. Happy hour starts Saturday at 5 o'clock. And then we just going to keep rolling until we get to Sunday morning when the Lord got up.
It's 2 weeks. Exactly.
That's right, 2 weeks.
And ask me, is anything done?
Is anything done?
Nope, because we just got the keys last night.
Jesus. So we got some work to do, Baltimore. What y'all working on? Y'all working on anything in y'all lives? How you feeling?
Yeah, because I don't want to hear about our church.
No, but I had to let them know because I felt it in my shana now
that
they wanted to come and visit.
Glory.
But now that we ain't all the way out there in Glen Burnie.
Stop acting like it's far.
That's how they feel.
Okay.
So look, it is still Women's Month, right?
Yes, it is.
And I know that it was happened a couple of weeks ago, right? But you and I haven't had the opportunity to really discuss it and digest it, right? But we had a woman that was recently all over social media, and she was kind of using some expletives.
Not that one?
No, not that woman.
Okay.
The woman who was threatening the prophetess.
Okay.
Right. We had somebody who was giving some explicit filled threats to a prophetess because she said that the prophetess wanted to give her husband a word in private. Right. And so it's Women's Month.
Okay.
And so my question to you is...
somebody give you a word in private?
No.
Oh, okay. I was just asking. Like, what was your question for me? Okay, ready. I'm ready.
Do you like the women in your pulpit cussing?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
But I can't be naive to believe that someone may not slip up and say a curse word outside of the pulpit.
Okay, but this was in the pulpit, and it wasn't no slip up. She said expletives multiple times,
Understood.
And she was threatening another woman of God. What you think about that? IG, do you like your women in the pulpit cussing?
I don't like women or men in the pulpit cussing. Let's just start there.
Okay,
so it's
Women's Month, so I was just asking.
Okay, but I'm just putting it out there.
Got you. I don't like women or men in the pulpit
or
cussing
kids.
either. Right.
or
Nobody.
animals.
No.
Okay, let's just
Or
let's just put it out there.
No.
That nobody should be in the pulpit cussing.
Okay.
Okay.
Then tell me why.
What?
Tell me why.
Why?
Because some people are following this particular woman,
Okay.
and they don't have a problem with it.
Absolutely.
They were cheering, they were clapping. The keys player was tuning up for her
No,
while
he wasn't. I didn't hear that.
Oh yes, he is getting it in.
Okay.
And they tuning up for this woman while she is threatening with expletives in the pulpit. So tell me why you don't think, or you wouldn't want your man or woman of God in the pulpit cussing.
I just think that overall, like, we are supposed to be, and hear me when I say this, I don't want anybody to think that we should be above anybody else, but we should be a representation of Christ.
And also, we're not judging nobody. Hey, do what you do. That's between you and the Lord. Like, that don't have nothing to do with.
Absolutely.
That's between you and the Lord. So,
Absolutely.
so
between you and the Lord.
y'all had to take that up with him if y'all want to cuss in church.
As me, as a believer, and someone who's trying to live my life differently, and someone who is actually trying to allow people to follow someone Christ-like, I would try my best to show them how to live.
Okay.
And threatening someone, I ain't even talking about the cussing right now.
Right.
Simply
it's
threatening.
multiple facets to this
so
story.
Many different things. And who is her covering? Like, I have questions.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Like, I have questions like, who is her covering? I have questions if she belongs to a network of churches. Has anyone sat her down and tried to counsel her?
Okay.
I don't want to say discipline, but counsel.
Right. Yeah.
Because I believe that something is wrong.
Okay.
Okay. Has she sought out anybody from anger management? There are so many different, like you said, there's so many different things, so many different facets to the issue. We can't just concentrate on the cursing.
Right. And I want to know,
what is she showing her children? What is she showing the leaders that are following her, that are looking up to her?
Yeah.
It is so I'm so tongue-tied because I believe that the Christian network, the Christianity culture has become like the world instead of the world becoming like Christ.
Right, because we reverse the roles.
Everything is just, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's just okay to sleep and fornicate. It's okay to curse people out. It's okay to threaten people. It's okay to get in the pulpit where it used to be sacred. I remember seeing a post, it was several months ago, that said that the moment we switched out the pews for the pew chairs, the dynamic of the church changed. The moment we transferred from the altar in the pulpit to a stage, the dynamic of the church, changed. The moment we switched out the remember me table where communion used to be,
right,
and went from the communion cup and the wafer to the one you peel back, the one and done. The culture changed. Now hold on, I know what you're about to say.
You don't know what I'm about to say.
Okay, well let me finish saying what I was about to say. Right? I get that a lot of that was a change for times, and I get that a lot of that was trying to take some of the monotony out of the religion, out of it, having to do this way. I get that, but the mindset also changed. When we started looking for a church, the realtors kept saying, are you looking for a church or are you looking for a second generation church?
Right.
And I was like, what is a second generation? I didn't know it was verbiage for looking for a warehouse.
Right.
I didn't know. I didn't know. And I'll be very honest with you. The reason why we were looking for a non-traditional church had nothing to do with the look.
Right.
But the makeup and the maintenance. If you go into a church now that has already been there 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years.
You got a lot of work to do.
You got a lot of work to do to restore.
Yeah.
And so that was why we were looking for something different.
Yeah. So look, we got half the hour in all the power. Right now, we are talking about cussing from your leaders in the pulpit, but we're also talking about kind of the change in dynamic from the old church to the new church, right? Because now we understand that even with some of the stuff that we have going on, some of the old church ways just wouldn't work the same way. Some of the things wouldn't kind of, allow people to be who they are in the times that we're living in, right? And so we're trying to figure out what is it that will attract you and detract you from coming to the church and being a part of the church. And is it okay for the church to be more like the world than for the world to be more like the church? Join in on this conversation at 443-380-2803. That's 443-380-2803. Because what I feel, PK, is that some of what the post that you were talking about is absolutely valid, right?
Absolutely.
And some of it is like, okay, well, I get what they're trying to say. Because I remember a day where we could not walk or step in the pulpit as children. Like when I was back in the day when we was coming up, we couldn't step in the pulpit because it was sacred. It was the thing that it was like, hey, don't go up there. You about to burn up, right? You know what I'm saying? And so it was like,
and I used to sneak in there. I'm just saying,
just to see what would happen.
Yeah, maybe because I knew the calling on my life.
I doubt it. Probably because of the rebel that you are. But no, and so some of these things, like some of the dynamics of what we, considered church had to change.
Right. But I mean, it used to be like going in a library.
Yeah.
But on to the 10th power.
Right.
You go in the library, you couldn't eat, you couldn't talk on the phone,
right.
You had to be quiet, everybody was studying, like that type of thing. You walked in the sanctuary and it's like, that's one thing that I loved when I was growing up. My father was Catholic. That's one thing I loved. The moment that they walked in, they did the whole cross thing on their chest because it was like, ooh, I might get snatched.
Right.
And there was a different, oh my gosh, it was just different.
Right.
It was quiet. You might find somebody in there praying or, they eat in the sanctuary now. They got to have signs that say no eating.
Absolutely.
It is crazy.
Because if not, you're going to have to deal with the chip sounds because they bringing bags of chips all up in the sanctuary.
Up in there, and then blame it on the kids. I gotta give them something to keep them quiet. When babies were crying and screaming.
Yeah.
Back in the day, people would come and take their babies out and go into the baby hushed or something. Now, everybody in the congregation got to hear your baby crying.
Right. Over the preacher.
Preacher get louder, the baby get louder. Or this the famous one. Shh.
Right.
We can still hear you, the shushing,
and
we can still hear the baby.
That's right.
But
so it's different, right? And so how do we put some of the sacredness back into the church, but still allow us not to be caught up in the religion? Because I think that's a major dichotomy that we have, is trying to figure out how to do a little bit of both.
Right.
And the trouble is that we are a disproportionate society. And so we always take things one way too far or the other. Right. And so it is not no balance in our lives in almost anything that we do. We always go overboard with the stuff that we have. And so how is it that we find a way to be able to still invite all of the people into church that we want and not have them worried about walking in and them being looked at funny and walking in and them being talked about, and because I believe that even all of those things are encompassing of how people feel and the reasons why they won't go to church.
Yeah, and so the only way I believe a formula can be created at some point, but the only way that you combat that is love first.
I like it.
Love
it.
First.
Talk to me about it.
Love first happens before rules happen.
Yeah.
Right? Respect first. I remember when the kids, and I have nieces and nephews and, kids that would come to the house, and then they would invite friends over. And if they see you treating your house a certain way, they'll treat it a certain way.
That's right.
Right? And so if you want somebody to respect your house, you
got
to
respect your house.
And they have to see you respecting your house.
Yeah.
So love first means, one, you love your leaders and you train them properly.
Yeah.
And then you train your leaders to love first. first, to give grace first.
That's right.
And so when they see somebody, disrespecting your home, so to speak, what then happens is you show them love first, ingratiate them into the city. I'm talking about the city, okay, people. And then you kind of introduce the rules. And so I know that when we have our new members class, we allow all of our leaders to come and share their heart in their district. We call our auxiliaries districts. So share their district with the people that are joining the church. And then that one-on-one connection is like, okay, this is what we do in the city. This is why we do this in the city. This is so you can understand. And I think explanation is important, but I think love is first. I remember one of my I'm talking about him. He just left me, so if you're listening, hey. I love you, Shannon. Right? But Shannon is he's new to our church, and I believe our church is his first church home. Right? Okay. And I remember his fiance saying, "Hey, my church, my pastors aren't like this, and they, they're very touchable, and they this, that, and the third, right?" And so he came to church one day, and he tried to come and hug me. Right. And at the time, the people wouldn't let him get close to me. Okay. Right now we're in like the ending of COVID. Okay. Right. Yep. And so he tried to come and he tried to hug me. And they wouldn't kind of let him get to me. So he kind of we waved at each other, and that was that. He went on, they had pillow talk. Right. And when I say pillow talk, we never knew what they discussed, right? But then when he attended new members class, and then each of us got up and explained why we do this, that, and the third, I made a statement that day, and I said I got a brand new grandbaby, brand new grandbaby, right? And I said, and at times I keep her, and that is the only time where I wouldn't want everybody coming next to me, because that's when I wear a mask. That's when I want everybody masked up. She has a young immune system, and I just don't want everybody over there in fear that she will get sick. Absolutely. And so my leaders knew this, right? And so the leaders kind of tried to protect the grandbaby that particular day. Yeah. And it was after, and I'm going to speed this up, it was after that membership class was over, he actually walked up to me and he said, "I am so thankful that you explained that to me, because I was feeling some type of way, right? Because I couldn't reach my pastor, right? And I wanted my pastor, and it wasn't explained to me." Wow. And that meant he went home feeling some type of way, because he felt like people were preventing him from getting to me. And that might be a message for the pastors that have all these the security and the armor bearers. I understand that the world that we're living in is different, but it also means that you have to have access to your people, and your people have to have access to you. And if there's something that you're doing in the church that needs an explanation, explain it. Please explain.
Because people need their pastors. That's one of the things that we're here for. We're here to lead the people, and you can't lead the people without being able to help them to understand who you are. Right. When we become this group of people who stiff arm our people away from us, then it takes away from the authenticity that they feel of having pastors that can actually lead them. And so yes, what I would say is we have to lead with love, and then we have to follow up with explanation.
Yes.
And that changes the game. And so when I talk about the way the culture is changing, the way the church is changing, the way, people are kind of in a mind frame that they can do whatever they want to do in the setting of the church, then my response is that we lead with love. And so I would never ridicule that lady who did that. I would lead with love.
Definitely lead with love.
And I would say, hey, look, we got people following us.
Right.
You can cuss at home all you want to.
Right.
That's up to you.
Right.
But when we're in front of the people, we need to be doing the things that we need to do.
You shouldn't be in front of the people. And let me say this, because I want to address this so we can talk about this next week. Shouldn't no female prophetess be trying to go to a husband and give a word solo, quiet, and all in the corner somewhere.
Well,
now, I don't know.
and so
if she
since
did
you
that.
since you said that,
We only got
that
1 minute left.
well, you shouldn't have brought it up.
Okay.
But that was one of the questions though, because we don't know what in private was. In private just could have meant not in front of the church.
Absolutely.
So-
And it
so-
could have been not in front of the wife, but somebody
It could have
was
been,
there to
but
witness
we
it.
don't know that.
We
You know
don't,
what I'm
but
saying?
we need to make sure that we're training people properly, leading with love
Yeah.
first, and then explanation, because it could have been an explanation for that.
It could have been.
Yeah,
Because it
yeah.
could have been something that everybody didn't need to hear.
Absolutely.
And so you beefing with somebody for what? For something
And what if
that
the
should
Lord
be
said-
private.
What if the Lord say it in private?
How you going to fight what the Lord said?
She said what she said.
Well, we're going to come back to you next week and we're going to talk to you a little bit more about training and reigning and all of that type of
All
stuff.
that good
God
stuff.
is good and so are you. Baltimore, we love you. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
Thank you for joining us today. Find us on social media.
That went by fast.